What I can say about the 2007 violence is that things were terrible.
Anapeleka Australia.
It's a dark day in Kibera because women were raped, children were orphans.
We were paid to burn city hoppers.
Number 9, Kibera, Octo, number 9 is Bill Gates. Okay, Kibera, maluta pata tutembea mguu lakini kuna.
So right now I'm here in Kibera, which is it's a slum in Nairobi, and I was able to come here. I got the opportunity through a friend of mine, Mia Foreman, who comes regularly. She lives in the U.S. but comes regularly to Kenya for work.
When I got back to the U.S., I was just hanging out with Joel in his house and telling him about my experience here in Kibera, and he said to me, I think he was like, oh, I would really love to go to Kenya. And I said, well then let's just do it.
And she linked up with Kibera Hamlets, which is the organization that I'm now working with.
Kibera tokusotesha kabla hujajisort. Kibera maluta pata wasia na wazazi watu wamebaki joma orphans. Kibera mali octopizo kanipata daily nikipa game hadi mandazi. Kibera nikisha credo ovya zangu nikuingia kwa simu na kuokoa jahazi. Kibera maluta pata wasi wengine wanadai malazi, wanadai mavazi. Kibera the tourist attraction. Kibera mlami akipitia na tuachia fraction. Daily nipate kwa reli kazi yangu tu ni kuongoza.
I work with Kibera Hamlet, which is a community-based organization working in Kibera slum. We have several programs within Kibera Hamlet.
This project is called the Kibera Walls for Peace Project. And the idea for this project is that we have a group of children and teenagers who are from here in Kibera, who work with Kibera Hamlets, the organization that I'm partnering with. And we are learning through a series of workshops about peace building and violence prevention, specifically related to this election period that we're in right now. As we all know, this project is focused on using the arts to send a message of peace and non-violence to the people that live here in Kibera. I want everyone to share a little bit of what their thoughts are of what the most important messages that we would share with the community through the murals, also through the poetry and the theater, the music, all the different arts that we're using to get these messages across. What are the most important messages you want to put out there to the community?
Ile kitu yenye ningeweza kuchangia kasi sisi vijana tukose kutumiwa. Alafu kama uko na jirani yako alafu mmekosana, so ati unaweka grudge ile wakati wa election.
Mimi ninaweza my youth ni kuwa wakae na amani na nguvu juu. Kila pale unaenda unafaa kuwe na amani, msipigane.
Ningependa kuambia kama nyinyi wa vijana wa kununulia msikubali.
Tuishi kwa amani, tuache ukabila, tuache hizi vitu mbaya mbaya, tuache kufanya, tuishi mahali pamoja kama Kenya.
Ivo ndo music ka Lucifer na kauna dai wendo ishi na fojue man Lucifer nitakupeleka nikutupe nikuache ukitupa Kenya mnadai gideli kwa hii industry ndo mi wapa.
When I grow up I want to be a pilot, dancer, lecturer.
I want to be a football player.
I want to be a pilot, be a lawyer, engineer, journalist. I want to be a meteorologist, be a doctor, to be a doctor.
My name is Joel. When I grow up, I want to be an artist. Alright, so I'm going to go over for a minute a couple things we talked about yesterday, and then we can add new ideas, but also we have all the poetry. So some of the murals can just be images, but the ones that we're going to have words, we can use some of the lines from this poetry. Alright, so one idea was the Kenyan flag, and it would say, Kabila langu ni Mkenya.
Well, some murals go well also with depending on the area. There are some murals if you put around Katwekera, they won't make sense to people of Katwekera. So like what he said about the flag of Kenya, saying Kabila langu ni Kenya, if we could put that and add some 2 other murals on the same wall that talk about that talk more of tribalism and also corruption. Tribalism and corruption, I think that would be on the sides, that would be good.
This was spray paint, the front part. Okay. All right, so this mural here is in Mexico, in a very remote area. So Mexico, just like here in Kenya, you have the Maasai, who are traditional. This is also, you could compare them. They're also a tribe who's very remote, who's very traditional. So we did a project with them, and so you notice there's the big images, and then there's many small pictures. And so all the kids and also teenagers and even some adults all participated and did different parts. And then you have the big images, which are important things for their culture. This is a religious guy, and this is one of their spirits. Same one, without the people in front, so it gives you a better view. So this is the type of idea of what we're going to be doing. We have to think of some really important, big, strong images, but then everyone gets to do their little part also. And here's the final picture. Now you see that it has a poem. And we've also been doing poems with the students here at Kibera Hamlets. So this is the type of thing where you can have an image, a person or whatever with the poem. So one of the kids wrote this.
Kabla ya kupaint, tunakuanga tuna discuss kwanza. Tuna discuss tuende tuandike poem ya hivi na hivi. Ndio maana unaweza pata hapo poem yako ama umejitungia unaandika. Alafu unapata hiyo poem yako imependeza watu.
Kitu mzuri hatufai tubague kabila, sababu kibagua inaweza kuwa vita mingi sana ukibagua kabila.
I think that art is a very powerful tool, whether it's painting, whether it's music, whether it's film. It's a very powerful tool for two reasons. One, it's powerful to work with the kids. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Because when kids learn about something, sometimes it can be not very interesting. And then when they're able to make art about it and explore it through the arts, that gets them much more into the topic. And I've noticed that with kids I've worked with all over the world. Once they're creating art, they get much more excited about the topic and interested. And then the other thing about art is that it gives the youth the opportunity to express themselves to the wider society that they, especially if they're from a marginalized community, may not be able to usually interact with. We have a very special presentation for you all here tonight in Kibera Hamlets. We have dance, we have music, but first, 2 very famous poets will be presenting their poems. The first has presented in Paris, London, Johannesburg, New York City, and is now here with us in Nairobi. Nicholas Kilembe!
Jamani, Kenya yetu inataka amani. Amani ni muhimu kwa Kenya kama sisi.
We are actually taking a bottom-up approach whereby we are actually getting problems that are actually really affecting the entire community, whereby the youth actually get involved into workshop where they actually come up with ideas and then they also come up with ways of actually solving these ideas or problems that maybe they are affecting the community.
Yamepita ya zamani, dunia imebadilika. Ondoka twende mkutanoni, dada nanyi kina kaka. Msibaki asilani, kuacha amani kushika ujinga. Amani ndio maisha, sisi wote tufuatilie.
tunachora about peace, collect watu about peace. Yaani kwa kujaribu kuwafundisha, yaani kufanya election, wa making peace ati kila saa kupigana, kuwa watu innocent.
Okay, so this is the first wall. We have a bunch of different walls. This one is the first one. One of the walls we're going to paint. So you see it's very long. We're going to at least paint this part here, possibly a little bit more. So what we're going to do on Monday is come with brooms and clean it all off, get all the dirt off, then put white paints, and then when it dries, then we paint our painting. So for this first one, the theme of the first one, which the youth came up with in our meetings and our workshops, is combating tribalism and unity between different ethnic groups. So the message is Kabila langu ni Mkenya, and that means my tribe is Kenya. And there's going to be a flag in the background, the colors of the Kenyan flag, and then a face of a child with that message.
Hapa hizi picha unaona hapa tunachora mambo za peace, ndio hata mtu akipita hapa akiona wameandika peace anakumbuka 27 venye ilikuwa na fight. Sasa hii election inakuja kusikue hivyo. Kuna sola sana kijijini ni kupoa sana.
You're my speciality, like Miss Congeniality. All up in my life, making my days so alive. I'm so alive, yeah. I'm so alive. I'm so alive.
Hii project naona inasaidia kwa wale wenye wanajua kwa moyo wenye walisafa 207. Ndio manake wakiona hapa tumechora hivi watagundua, alafu waambie wengine tukue na amani katika nchi yetu ama Kenya yetu.
So we finished the first wall and we're here at the second wall. We're painting the background right now. And the focus of this, they're going to use two different things that they learned in the workshops that we had last week. One is going to be the background. They're going to create abstract art, which they did in the workshops. And that's going to basically to show them how to express yourself through colors and through lines and through patterns and through shapes without using actual figures. So that'll create the background. Then on top of that, they're going to be writing poetry that they wrote about the theme of peace and being against the violence and tribalism that's so strong right now before the election. So they'll be all writing their poetry on the wall, and the image that's going to bring it all together is a lion. So we're actually going to paint a lion that you'll see the poetry going through the lion. And we chose that animal because it's a strong animal that people here really like and really connect with, and it symbolizes in a way Kenya.
Actually, tribalism is an act of actually people aligning to actually one side of tribe.
Kama Kikuyu na Jaluo zikikutana, wanaweza kuwa na bagwana, inaweza kuwa ni vita.
Tribalism is like a beast, and it's also like a bad seed that grows in people's minds and thoughts.
Hii project ni ile kusaidia watu wenye walikuwa siku election wakipigana, sasa watoke kwa hiyo maana ya kupigana, wakuje kuishi kwa amani.
Ile kura tulipiga 2007 nilikuwa hapa na tulipiga kura kwa njia mzuri. Baada ya kungojea results zitoke, sisi tulikuwa nafikiria vile tulipiga kura tunajua fulani ndiye ameshinda. Lakini wakati results zilitoka kapatikana mwingine ndiye ameshinda. Ikaanza taka hiyo tu kutangaza kumaliza hiyo result, vita ilianza wakati hiyo. Tukawa na watu kuana, ikawa hata kwa sasa watoto kukula ni shida. Inabidi ya mtoto hata aenda wakote vitu chakula kwa mtaro ile inatupa watu wakitoroka. Kati ya Jack aliingia Hamlet, nilifurahi sana kwa sababu nione shule ya Hamlet iko na mafunzo mzuri sana, kwa sababu inaonyesha watoto vile wanasikaa na vile wanaweza kuonyesha hata sisi wazazi tukua na umoja.
Tunachora hizo vitu kwa ukuta tukiziandika, yani wana feel I'm proud kwa sababu kama umeandika hapo umeshaelimisha watu wengi.
Patient alikuja akaniambia wanachora kwa ukuta mambo ya peace in Kenya. Sasa hiyo kuchora kwa ukuta na kuwafundisha kuchora, mimi naona ni vizuri na mnawafundisha vizuri, hata ninafurahi sana, hata wanaweza chora zaidi.
In 2007 when after post election kulikuwa na Tonya alikuwa anachoma manyumba, kama nyumba yetu ilikuwa moja hapo yenye ilichomwa, tukakimbizwa tukaenda kwa bush, kuishi kwa bush. After that tukapelekwa kwa out of Kibera kwa estate fulani, tukaishi huko. Sasa huko ndo tulikuwa napata msaada.
2007 nilikuwa hapa Nairobi, na wakati huo wa kura ndio nilikuwa nimejifungua last born wangu. Tulikuwa kwa shida, hakuna chakula, mahospitali walikuwa wamejaa wamama na watu walikuwa wanakatwa kwa panga, makanisa zilikuwa zinachomwa, penye watu walikuwa wanaenda kujificha. Hata hapo chini kwa mto watu walikuwa wanatupwa. Ukiamka asubuhi mkienda kuangalia mili za watu, vichwa ndio hizo zimekatakatwa ziko huko. Sasa kulikuwa na kilio kila mahali, kulikuwa na kifo kila mahali na vyakula hazikuwa. Hata mimi mwenyewe nikashindwa hata nitanyonyesha nini mtoto, juu sikuwa na chakula ya kukula ndio mtoto apate maziwa ya kunyonya.
Like my cousin alikuwa anaishi huku tu Kibera.
Alichomewa kwa nyumba akapoteza maisha yake.
Walichomewa nyumba na yeye akachomekea ndani ya nyumba. Hatukupata kwenda shule, hatukuwa naenda shule. Tulikuwa namaliza like 2 weeks kama tukuli. Mnakaa tu hivyo kwa nyumba, hata ukigonjeka utakaa tu hivyo. Kuna venye utaweza kwenda hosi.
Tunatetemeka hata tunashindwa tupike kura ama tusipike kura. Juu tukikumbuka huko nyuma penye tulitoka, hatuoni kama wengine watapika kura. Lakini tunaomba hizo posters zifanye kazi, watu wasikie na watii maanani, wafuate.
People who we lived with like for many years, like brothers and sisters, were the ones who were turning against us, you know. Things changed us within a moment. You find that people are just now turning against each other. People are hacking each other, you know. I even survived a machete because I was cut here on the head by a machete. So you see, so I had to run for my life, and that's when now I found myself at the Jamhuri, at the showground where other IDPs were. So, and their life in the camp also was not that easy, because we found that now we had to stay for like a few days. We had to stay like for a few days without we had no food, we had nothing to cover ourselves during in the cold nights. So it was just terrible.
I myself have lost my friends. Those I was thinking like they were the enemies. Now I want them, and they are not there. I'm losing them, and I hope the more we keep peace towards the community, is the more we'll grow and the more we'll move ahead. Because post-election violence, we have vulnerable kids, we have women who are raped, we have men who lost their properties and they were also killed. I witnessed like 4 people died during the post-election violence, which I can't allow to see another bloodshed in these 2013 or these elections.
Unacheka na nani? This time atucheki na nyinyi. Umekuja kuwachapa hata na slippers, hata na nyaunyo.
Fimbo ina chapa, fimbo chapa, fimbo ina chapa, fimbo chapa. Nye 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 nye, hatutaki nye nye nye. Ukileta nye nye nye, fimbo chapa.
Hizo chapa, hivi ndio mi utema. Kabla wanishike watakuwa washahema. Tuliza boss, acha nye 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 nye.
Dogo chapa, dogo bibi nina chapa. Nina chapa, siye tunatapa, vitu tunatoa grandpa, mtasogopa.
TLMO chapa. Mwani maswali mingi, kwani weni kwa kisi? Una maswali mingi, kwani weni kwa kisi?
Tuko na mgeni na namintroduce, anaitwa Joel. Barangi, come on.
Habari zenu. Jina langu ni Joel Bergner, lakini hapa Kibera jina langu ni Joel Marangi. And by now you've all seen the paintings that we've made all around Kibera with messages of peace. So those paintings, every idea, every image, and every word that you see on the paintings comes from the youth, comes from these kids here.
Mwenye kumlisha ndovu ni nani? Ni nyasi. Kwa hivyo sisi sote hapa ni nini? Watakapopigana tusipigane sisi, manake ndovu rudi makwao bila shida. Kwa hivyo shukrani kwa wingi, na tukumbuke hakuna kumizana nyasi kwa nyasi. Sisi ndio Kenya ya leo na kesho pia.
We are at the Kenya Railways, where we are fortunately being given a train that is cutting from Kikuyu to Kibera, and we are going to be doing peace signs, peace graffiti.
This is the grand finale of the Kibera Walls for Peace project, where we're painting the entire length of this train, which is 10 cars long. So we have the youth that we've been working with, as well as many guest artists, which are graffiti artists.
The reason we're doing on a train, first of all, is accessibility. You know, like the train is mobile, so it kind of goes into different routes.
And since this train in particular passes through the slum, the whole idea is the message to be repeated over and over.
That the youth do not want to see what happened last time during the last elections. We have to be able to get that message across in a way that's very intense and really out in public. The project, to me, I'm really happy with it, and I feel like it was very successful, and we did meet the goals that we set out. Actually, I think we did a lot more than we ever even imagined. We didn't even know we were going to paint the train, for example, and work with many different graffiti artists. So it was a huge success, and what we really want to do now is, when we look towards the future, make this project into something that continues. You don't want to just, do it and then now the election comes, so now we're done. We want to move on to other topics, and hopefully it will be something that continues and grows and involves many more people and local artists as the months and years go on.